I would ask for a little housekeeping here that any questions I'll take afterwards. I want to keep this as brief as possible because I know we're all very busy being at home. I'm home. I know you are. So a bit about me, for those of you who don't know, partner in CGT marketing. I've been doing this for 30-something years. I also teach at Hofstra in the evenings, entrepreneurship program. And I also give workshops in marketing all around New York. I also train in-house social media teams, and over my career, I've assisted hundreds of businesses of all sizes, from Weight Watchers International down to a local retailer. So where are we now? We're in a very unique time right now. Things are closed. Streets are closed. We're living in an abject fear, financial stress, family stress. Families are home. This is times that we have not seen and hopefully will never see again. I like to think of this time, the stress, if I may just go back in time a little bit, tell you a little story. It's brief. About 10 years ago, actually 11, my father had contracted lung cancer, and he since passed away shortly thereafter. But I was in a support group, and the social worker, the woman, shared a story with me, how we all respond to stress. She said, "Are you a carrot?" Well, what happens when you put carrots under stress in boiling water? They become limp and soft. Maybe you're an egg. What happens when you put eggs in boiling water and take them out? They look exactly the same, but if you crack them open, they're hard boiled, they're hard as a rock. Or are you coffee? Because when you boil coffee, what happens to the water? When it's under stress, the coffee bean changes the environment around it, makes it into a lovely, hopefully, a lovely cup of coffee. And in essence, that's what I'm asking everyone here to do, is to be the bean. Find the inner strength to be the bean. Change your environment around you. You can affect change, and your business can come out stronger than ever before. Marcus Aurelius said something years ago: you have the power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, you will find strength. The only thing we can't control is ourselves. And that's where we need to be. So although you may be closed, you're still awesome. And I want you to be awesome. And you're going to be awesome. That's the road that we're on. Because marketing your company is, has, will be different going forward. And that's what we're going to go over today. So let's plan to win. I want each one of us to have a plan. I would love if each one of you had action items to take from this to be able to start to plan to win as you get out. So I have a process, as I usually do, those who know me, is to rethink, strategize, manage, and emerge stronger. So let's review. Rethink. Essentially, I'll start with a quote from Malcolm Gladwell, who I think is absolutely brilliant. Every time I read a book, he has a totally different point of view that opens my mind and allows me to think about things in a different light. I want you to start with a clean sheet of paper and reimagine your world, your business as you go forward. There have been several businesses that are doing that. A CNC machine company on the West Coast, Jingdao, actually offered their machinery, which actually makes stuff to 1 micron a piece. They make 2 pieces of metal, put them together, you can't even see the line between them. It's amazing. But they offer their machinery to make molds for people making face masks, free. Local Port Washington hardware store now. We know that all food places or delivery places will deliver curbside pickup. Now, if I need a wrench, I could go to Aboff's curbside pickup. I could pick up a new hammer. The Suffolk County Library system actually has pulled all 3D printers from all the libraries in Suffolk and started making masks for Stony Brook. Since then, other hospitals and people that needed PPA started to request them to make them for them. Pooling of resources for the common good. And of course, yoga. Now you could do yoga in your home with an instructor online. Actually, yoga is one of the top keywords used on Google now. How can I do yoga in my house? Everybody wants to feel better about themselves, and yoga is one way. So rethink. You need to research to understand your marketplace. I'll get into that. Take a look at your core expertise. What is it that you do really well? And in essence, I want you to answer these hard questions. What problem or problems do you truly solve? Matter of fact, a brilliant colleague of mine, Barbara Roberts, in doing this is part of the business model canvas that we use at Hofstra. And it is so good because it narrows it right down to the core. What do you solve? Are you a painkiller or are you a vitamin? You decide. Right now, painkillers will be more profitable than vitamins. We're under a state of fear. How are you adapting to new customer needs? And finally, why would someone do business with you? So important to understand these things. These are hard questions. They're not easy. And the last one, why would someone do business with you? It's not the wonderful tie or shirt or environment that you're in. There has to be a reason why someone do business with you. So rethink. Let's take a look at the present marketplace. And what's happening is that your customers and prospects are thirsty for expertise. You may not think so, but they are. They're less likely to ask for a referral these days. Now, unless you're part of a very healthy networking organization like ABA, there's even one in the city, Gotham, very healthy, vibrant networking organizations you could lean into. Most buyers are less likely to look for a referral because they go online, search for insight and any help they can find. And what's fascinating about this is that this has been a change that was already happening over the past 7-8 years. This pandemic, COVID, has accelerated this change beyond what we thought possible. Look, we have a client that when we engage with them, I think maybe about 9 years ago, the bulk of their budget, almost all of it, about $900 to $1 million in media spend, was all print. Today, the bulk of their budget, roughly 80%, is all digital. And I think that will even get higher over the next couple of quarters. So what that does, because of these changes, because of the marketplace, there is a lot more pressure on what you're doing digitally. Look, David Roddick, I don't even know him, but he said this, I'm giving him props. Your customers and prospects still have needs. It's just different than they were a few weeks ago. And a few weeks from now, they will be different. We have to be agile, flexible, and adaptable as marketers. Because since you're here, you're all marketers now. Because I like marketing. So let's talk about strategy. The next step is to learn from the past and where we can pull from the recent past. And I'm not talking about the 1918 Spanish flu where the cure was whiskey and chewing tobacco, which it may work today, who knows? Just don't inject any disinfectants, please. But we can learn from the past, the recent past, the Great Recession of 2008, where there were similar, look, it was totally different. We don't have tragic consequences then that we do now. But the marketplace similar reacted from a marketing point of view, where smart marketers spent more money on online advertising, maintained and grew their spend, increased sales and market share during it and afterwards. During it and afterwards, they increased their market share. Look, at a time where sales seem difficult and seem hard, these steps will help you break through that barrier, rethink what you're doing. So today, what's happening today? I pulled these latest research figures that we have. No surprise, more people are spending more time using their laptops. And 75% are using their mobile devices. Take a look at your Google Analytics for your website. We've seen it is that all the usage on mobile devices has increased dramatically. New York Times reported that Facebook traffic was up 27%. This is the biggest social channel on the planet with over 2 billion users, and they're up 27%. It's huge. And an influencer agency called, obviously, it's not obviously an influencer agency, but they saw over a 2-week period a 70% increase in accumulated likes on Instagram. Now, what this results in, what this environment resulted in, which is a key component, that's why it's in yellow, is that brands, and we have seen it in all the clients we have in social media, there's been a decrease in a cost per click of over 30%. This is across Google pay-per-click, social media, whatever is happening. And cost per thousand, there's been a reduction in the cost of over 50%. This is, for a marketer, it's a kind of a marketer's dream to be able to reach more people more effectively with less money. So this is something I pulled just now, which bears really kind of good signs that we may be starting to perk our heads out. We've gotten calls from actual clients. We're starting a client today that shut down a month ago. They want to perk back up and get their social media back in line. What we're seeing is actual an uptick in total deals created. We're not where we were BC before Corona, but we're seeing a little, if you could see to the right of the chart, it's kind of bending up. This is from HubSpot. I just got this morning. Fresh data, love it. And totally marketing emails. There's been an incredible rise of emails being sent, and we're seeing open rates rise substantially. Matter of fact, some of the emails we've sent out over the past month, because we're providing information on how to deal with the COVID crisis, helping our clients change their messaging to adapt. We're seeing open rates increase dramatically. We've had them as high as 42, 43%. People opening the email. And the click-through rate has been following that as well. Now, is also data from HubSpot. They didn't release new data on this, but this was fascinating to me, is that customer-initiated conversations have increased every week. What does that mean? Conversations, your customers and prospects are starting online through every social channel, email, Twitter, Facebook, whatever channels they're on, they're initiating conversations. We've seen incredible increases in engagement rate. So it's time to double down on digital. No surprise there. What does that mean? What I'm recommending is that each of you do is create your company's digital footprint. Now, that's the trail you leave online from every place online, social, search engines, website, whatever it is. It's a trail you leave. It's a customer touch point, is where everybody comes in contact with your brand, and you need to map it out. This shows you a sample map from a business-to-business client that we have. This is not necessarily yours. Every company should have a different one. Each of those yellow circles are a different channel on your digital footprint. Where is your audience coming from now? SEO, online PR, YouTube, LinkedIn, Twitter. It could be from a totally different. So what I recommend today is that you make a map of exactly how you're using your digital footprint today. What pieces are involved today? Then map out where you need to be. So you have a path, you have a strategy going forward. Mapping it out is a clear way to understand exactly where to invest and where not to invest. A strategy that we have proven over the past few years, and more so today than ever before, is the go-to-market strategies about interactions, not transactions. That doesn't mean you don't involve e-commerce or you don't want to sell. It involves that your first step forward is about interacting. What did I say in the beginning? What are we all feeling? We're feeling fear, uncertainty. This is a totally unique time that none of us has experienced. We need to focus on interactions first before transactions. It's a powerful go-to-market strategy that we have found works for our clients over the past few years, more so now than ever before. So let's get into the management of it. I found this stat. This was a research that was done a while back, but it was fascinating to me. 85% form opinions based on how companies react in times of crisis. We have seen companies getting incredible backlash on social media because they're looking to profit rather than help. Look, Deborah Budd said there are marketing opportunities need to deliver hope, not just reinsurance. As marketers, you lead with interactions. You want to deliver hope and value. Don't just reassure. We all need hope. We need to be hopeful because we will get out of this. We don't know when, but maybe soon, maybe not, but we still need to have hope, and it's your job to deliver it. How do you deliver it? It's through content first. Focus on the content. Always lead with empathy. Remember, it's about your customers, not you. Your prospects, not you. Their state of mind, not your state of mind. You need to be authentic, as always, and please add value. A great way to do that is wrap your brand in education. Teach people. Be clear, be transparent as possible, or authentic. How are you doing business now? How are you serving customers? How have you helped other people? Here, we're helping these people. We'd like to help you. Understand that people are thirsty for expertise. They want expertise. They want people to help guide them, tell them what the next steps are. If there's one thing to take today, and I hope there are many, but it's write what your target market wants to learn about, not what you sell. It's important that you are giving value, giving education, teaching people what they want to learn about what you do. It's okay to drop the curtain. They want to know what's behind it. It's not that they'll do it themselves, but you have to understand that the level of anxiety is so much higher now that the decision matrix and how people are making the decisions, a lot of it is based on fear. What are you doing to push that fear down? Lead with hope, lead with empathy. Understand to write about what they want to learn about, not what you sell. Always find ways to help and build connections. If you're involved in some powerful networking groups, as I am, you always look to help people. You become a source. And because technology is here, you can personalize it. As much as you can personalize it. And here's what I would recommend. When you're developing content, make believe you're talking to one person. Even if it's a post that's going to go out to thousands of people, make believe you're talking to one person. This will help you create content that is personal and that's meaningful. Always use research to demonstrate your experience. Let's talk about the website. Yes, it is. It's performing an incredibly heavy lift. It is the core of your digital strategy, and it needs to be up to speed. You need to have that thing working like a charm. And here are the things that we have found that are proven results. Easy to use. Now, easy to use is just a click away, but this has a lot more meaning to it. What I mean is that you have language on there that your target market uses to talk about your stuff. You have images on there that people use to talk about your stuff. Images that they can identify with. Make it easy to use. 2 clicks away to get to where they want. Look at Google Analytics. Find out the pages that people want to get to. There's a wonderful behavior flow in Google Analytics that shows you exactly how people go through your website. What are they looking for? Bring that to the top. Make it easy for someone to use. Because what's happening in this environment, it's been happening over the past few years, and it's been accelerated now. Your prospects are selling themselves. As much as I love salespeople, and I do, because they're critical to marketing. Sales and marketing need to be meshed together in order to work well. People don't want to talk to salespeople. They, in essence, sell themselves. Your website has to do that heavy lift, has to provide all the information, contain social proof, testimonials, video. By the way, the testimonials have to be real. If you ask someone for testimonial and they say, write something up, I'll sign it, say, forget it. I'm not doing it. It's got to be real language. People can tell they're smart. You got to build it for search, and I'll get into that in a minute. And build for conversions. You want visitors to do something. Download a piece of content, reach out to you, sign up for your newsletter, buy a product, put stuff in their shopping cart for later, something. Must be ADA compliant. We've been dealing with this for the past, I think, 2 years, maybe 2.5 years. There are 3 levels. You only have to build it to level 2. That's fine. But it must be ADA compliant. Now, ADA compliant, if you don't know what that means, it's so that a disabled person, whether they're colorblind, blind, can't use their hands, are deaf, whatever disability they have, they can interact with your website through their technology they're using to interact with the internet. Must be ADA compliant. Now, let me just stay here just for a second. There's a lot of lawyers around that are suing companies that their websites are not compliant. Now, almost all of the companies they're going after are consumer-facing e-commerce websites. The B2B sites, people that are selling to other businesses, or very small local regional sites, have really not been touched with this. But I would say this is something to take care of within the next 6 months to a year. Must be ADA compliant. Now, here's where a lot of sites leave off. You need a clear call to action. You want someone to do something, convert to something. What is it that you want them to do? You need to decide and make that crystal clear on your site. Call me, email me. It doesn't matter what it is. Jump up and down on a Zoom call, or have a cat show up, or something. Have a clear call to action. You actually get increased conversions. And by all means, make it fast. You know, it's fascinating because the average human attention span has declined from 12 to 8 seconds over the past few years. Yes, there is an animal that has a longer attention span, a goldfish. Now, I haven't met the person who studied this and stared at a goldfish long enough, but it just indicates that we are all looking for stuff more immediate. We have an immediate need. Even though this pandemic has forced us to slow down a bit, we still want things to pop. A single second delay can result in a 7% loss in conversion. 7%. Just by a website that's slower than 1 second. And in reverse, if you can speed up a site from 8 to 2 seconds, you can boost your conversion rate by 74%. This is one of the simplest, well, not necessarily simple, but it's certainly one of the things when we look at a site. I was just asked to do a site audit yesterday by someone just introduced it. This is something that we're looking at. Run some speed reports. See where you're at. A fast site is critical. It also has to be responsive. If you don't know what that means it's screen agnostic. Any screen, any size, anywhere. Down to the smallest smartphone, down to the largest desktop and screen size, a wall 80-inch monitor, your website should reproportion itself to that screen. We've been building responsive sites for the past 3 years because of this. Now, technology is out there now, so you can be very intelligent when doing it for smaller screens. Matter of fact, we can select information not to show on a small screen that does on a desktop. What that does is it speeds up the load time even more, and it forces you to pare down that site to the most important stuff, because you want people to click through. You want them to convert, involve themselves in the site. Stick around, find information, download something, buy something. Let's talk about social media, which right now is just, it's cooking. And if you're not on it, you need to start. Start now. Never too late to start a program. And if you are, let's take a really good look at it. Beef it up. Get it rocking. Make sure you're on the right channels. Now, I've been asked often, what channels should I be on? Those channels should be the channels that your target market goes on. The information is readily available. If you'd like to know some more information, just email me after this. I'm happy to share it with you. Pew Research comes out with information every year about who's using what. If you're looking for a younger audience, TikTok, Snapchat, an older audience, Facebook. A business audience, more LinkedIn focused, and maybe Facebook, just to use the technology, which I'll get into in a minute. But when you're on Social Citizen, add value, be a good citizen. Your social media program needs to make sure that you're answering every single comment, no matter who it's from. You don't know where they're coming from. And always look to add value. And by being a good social citizen, engage, interact. It's okay to ask questions back about a comment. You want that engagement. Look, community management is a critical piece. It's one of the 3 critical legs of social media. It's something that we spend time on with each client because it's a critical piece. Because you want engagement more than the number of followers. Look, I'll take a Facebook fan page that has 10,000 followers and an 80% engagement rate versus one that has 100,000 followers and 1% engagement rate any day of the week. An engaged base is very critical, and being a good social citizen, adding value, being helpful, making connections. This is very, very important. The other side of this, because of the technology that's available now, I want you to maximize each channel. What do I mean by that? Install the tracking code. Every major social media channel has code now. Put this on your website. It's no more than 10 to 15 lines of code. I highly recommend your developer put it on. If there's any developers on this webinar, you know what I'm talking about. You need to put it on every page. Every single page. And what that does, it allows you then to start to track through social media who's coming, who's not. By installing the code, it allows you to build audiences. You can upload your email list to build audiences. Now, there's roughly anywhere from a 30 to 60% hit ratio when you upload it, but it's a great way to integrate what you're doing through email and through social media. For instance, we've done this before with clients where they send out an email, they've gotten maybe a 20-something% open rate. We take the people that did not open it, upload it to the channel appropriate. In this instance, it was Facebook. And we use the same copy, the same message through Facebook to market to those people that did not open. Integrating your digital ecosystem. You can design it, or rather request the technology. It's free, by the way, to track visitors to your specific pages. Now, I got asked this question before, and let me kind of answer it now if anybody is thinking about it. You do not get the name or email address of the person that's visiting a specific page. What you do get is the social channel compiling that list for you to then market to. Look, they're profitable, profit-making concerns. And that's how they make their money. They offer this technology totally free, but if you want to use it to market, that's when they charge you based on a cost per click, a cost per thousand basis. You could do interest audiences at the very basic. Look, every single channel watches what you click on, what you share, where the mouse scrolls, what you read, and they form interest groups and allows you to select interests as an audience. And finally, it allows you then to create what's called lookalike audience. So let me get into this a little bit deeper. You can segment retarget. For instance, someone hits your homepage, you have the code on your site, whatever channel it's for, you build that custom audience and market to. Now you request the social media channel, and let me use Facebook as an example, they call them lookalike audiences, to create an audience just like the ones that are visiting your homepage. What this does, it allows you then to maximize your buy and target and market to people most likely to look at your and buy your stuff. You can do that for specific product or service pages, whatever it is that you're selling. Track the audience going to a specific product. Find that audience and create a lookalike, and now you have people that are most likely to buy that product. Same thing with a checkout page or a contact us page. The people that look, not everybody that goes to a contact us page fills the form out or contacts you. Not everybody goes to the checkout page or their cart. There's a lot of cart abandonment. But you can track all these people because those people probably are more likely to do business with you than ever before. As a matter of fact, if you look at it as opposed to the sales funnel, use an interesting thing. Homepage is the awareness level. Your product and service pages are the interest level. And if someone gets to the checkout page and the contact page, that's a desire level. Tailor the message to the specific intent. Their behaviors online are indicating buyer behavior, how close they are to buying. This is critical. Again, your website's doing the heavy lift. Your website is your sales vehicle online. When the call comes in, depends upon the product or service you're selling, but this allows you then to track for free and then market to these people, helping them through the sales process, reducing their anxiety, give them hope in the message, empathize. SEO, another important feature. Critical that you audit the site and recheck all the keywords. Now, what's happening is that although you may analyze the competition, recheck the keywords because keywords are different now, you need to optimize for voice-activated search. This is something that's new that actually has exploded. What does that mean? All the devices that you have in your house, like if I say the word Alexa, will something perk up? Or hey, Google. People are speaking into them, using it for search, but they don't speak as precisely as they type. For instance, if I want to find local dentists, I will go on Google, I put local dentists. However, if I'm speaking, I say, Siri, where can I get my tooth looked at? This is a totally different keyword phrase. Your site has to be optimized for it. If I was typing, I might type in mini converters. If I'm speaking, I'm a design engineer. I said, who makes miniature DC to DC converters? It's a totally different approach. If I'm selling nail polish, which one of our treasured clients do, I might type in a rich nail polish. But if I go to my Google, my Alexa, I might say, where can I buy natural nail polish? Very different. Once you've managed it, you've developed this process, it's time to emerge. And as we can see, as we can find out today from the research and the headlines I just pulled, we're all talking about emerging. At a networking Zoom meeting this morning, we talked about emerging, thinking about what it looks like, what it feels like to come out, what you need to do. This is happening right now. You need to listen. It's critical that you listen because you need to adapt and change as your customers emerge. Where can you apply your expertise, your knowledge to help them emerge? Listening takes many forms as part of that community management leg. You got to monitor your social ecosystem, the entire digital ecosystem. There's a product out there we use, mention.com. I believe they have a free service. They also have a basic one for very little money on a monthly basis. You have to train it. You have to train it for keywords and keyword names, but it's a wonderful way to track and monitor what people are talking about. Listen for signals. Where are the signals coming from? It's the questions or the comments you're getting, the requests you're getting now. Don't just respond. Step back once a week and take a look at what's happening. What kind of questions are being asked? What kind of comments all over through email, through all my social media people are doing? What are they requesting from us? This indicates their changing needs, what they're looking for. And finally, gauge sentiment. Gauge sentiment by asking. Survey them. Ask them, how you feeling these days? Scared to death? How we doing? We're hopeful. Understand them. Listen. Now, I'm going to end with this final thoughts about outsourcing and keeping stuff in-house. One of the things that we as an agency understand is that, costs are tight. People have tight resources. And we're often asked, should we build this in-house or should we outsource? I pulled just a quick, simple little chart to show you some of the pros and cons of in-house versus agency marketing. Obviously, agency marketing can cost less, but you lose a bit of control. Some of the negatives about agency in-house is that talent recruitment is difficult. There's a lot of upfront software costs to do it right. What's fascinating about this is that we have figured out that we have found a new model for combining our capabilities with a company's in-house. It's what we're calling a collaborative community, for lack of better words yet. But what we found is that reduces overall cost, there's more client control, increased capability, it's scalable, and there are much better outcomes. For instance, 71 days since taking over this manufacturer distributor of implant parts that sells to labs and dentists, engagement grew 908%. Click-throughs increased 408%. These are silly numbers, but it's absolutely fabulous. And this enriched nail polish, which is, can you see my nails? It's really beautiful. Engagement has grown in 1 month over 18, actually in 2 months, it's grown over 2,000%. Click-throughs over 980%. It's wonderful. So Malcolm X said something years ago, which I think is so important for today. The future belongs to those who prepare for today. And my wish is that everyone here starts preparing today to emerge from a marketing standpoint. Take what I say to heart. So thank you. It's been a pleasure to be here. And you to be here. Here, if you want, for latest blogs on marketing through the pandemic, we often place new information here. We also have some resources you can download going to our website. And if you need to contact me for any reason, by all means, done so. If you have any questions, please feel free to throw them in the Q&A. I'll answer them right now. Someone said they see me. I'm glad. Oh, they put them in chat. Good morning, it's Gil. Yep, couldn't see. Hi, Mitch, thanks. Thanks, well done. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. Any questions from anybody? Thank you, Keith. Appreciate it. Fantastic insight. Keith, I hope you're using those Facebook groups we talked about. Excellent job. Thank you, Lisa. Appreciate it. He's trying. Good. I'm glad. Lisa raised her hand. Nice job from Bill. Thank you, Bill. Appreciate it. My pleasure, Shelley. Thank you for attending. Appreciate it. Thank you all so much. I do appreciate you being here. And this is recorded. You will receive a recording after this, Carlene. I see you typed in all caps. It's okay. Yes, it'll be recorded. So that's great. Lisa, I'll be here. Please call me on my cell. I think you have it. If not, just email me. Joel, where's Fred? Fred is actually listening, and he told me to stop picking my nose. Yes, Lou, great to see you too. It's been a long time. You're more than welcome. Ellen's laughing. Thank you. Great. So Carlene, there'll be, as I said, there'll be a recording after this. And yes, Fred asked, is video becoming more useful? Actually, It's interesting that you say that, Fred. There was a slide in here which somehow I left out, but video is a fantastic tool now for everybody to use, whoever's on here now, because it creates a human touch. It's where someone could see an actual human moving and talking and doing whatever. We highly recommend that you include video on your website wherever possible. Don't make it autoplay on the homepage because that slows load time. But you could have a link to a video. Video testimonials are very powerful. So video is actually becoming tremendously useful. Thank you, Fred, for reminding me. Jason, great stuff. What do you think about those cartoons being used to illustrate some stories? It's a great question, Jason. I think illustrations are wonderful because illustrations can give you a feel and a sense that photos do not do or memes do not do. They have to be very, very careful, though. Most illustrations that I see about stories are using humor, and you got to be careful with humor these days. Some people have a sense of humor like myself. Some people don't. So I think it's real important. But I do like cartoons being used. Absolutely. Love it. Depends on the story, I would say. But yes, love it. Dan Schwartz, great info. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. And thanks all for attending. Any other questions? Otherwise, I will sign off and get to my cup of coffee. Thank you, Ellen. Take care, everyone. Be safe. Stay healthy.